All right, so that was weird. I have finished mine, and here is my original. It's kind of full spectrum with like kind of strong yellows and greens and blues and browns. But then I ran it through Actions after I flattened it as a TIFF file, and I really liked this one, this more muted. They're like Instagram filters, basically, these Actions, and more earth toned. And then this one, which goes the other way, separates out the cools and the warms more strongly. So this is how I like to approach that. It's not that I need to just pick one of these or the other one. What I can do is flatten them. So go to Layer, Flatten Image, because some of them have special adjustments. Flatten the image. Basically, all this one does is layer a bunch of flat, transparent colors over the top. And now that they're flattened, I can select all of it. So go to Select All or Command A, and then copy, edit, Command C. And then go to my original TIFF file and edit, paste, Command V. And then that will give me a new layer. I can close this then. I don't need this action anymore. And so I have a layer on top which is a very different coloring. But it actually brings it all together really well. Like it was all shot by the same camera on the same day. And if I like it, it's all the same resolution. Then I can use opacity to blend it in. So that's without any of that extra Cool Beans layer. This is with about 50% of it. And I'm already liking that more. Right? And then this is with 100%. And I think I probably want maybe about 60% or so. Let's try that. Now I'm going to do it with this other action that I like. I flattened it. Now I'm going to select all, copy, Command C, close it. Don't need to save it. It's on the clipboard. Command V, paste it on top as a new layer. And then I can try with opacity. How much of that do I want? That kind of cooling of everything. I know I don't want it that much. Maybe just a little bit. About that much. I could even try different blending modes. So deepening the contrast with soft light, or letting the color be less impacted with pin light. You know, we have all these other options, or only using the things that lighten it, which gives me a lot more atmosphere, kind of this cooler mist coming through. That's actually pretty nice. Or just normal, right? Actually, I like the lighten more than the normal. Screen's a little too bright. Color dodge is far too bright. So yeah, just the lighten, very subtle, at a 42%. You can see I have a little bit of the cool in the water, but that's very different than my original, right? Each step you want to improve it. So now this is my final. So how do I submit this project? Well, this is my final Carl Fry Assignment 3 Creaturescape TIFF file. So I make sure I save that. That's my TIFF. But in order to put it online, TIFF is not an online format. So to put it up to PhotoBucket, I need to save it as a JPEG. So I'm going to save from my TIFF to a JPEG to the desktop. Make sure it's fewer than 5 megabytes. It's 20 right now, so I need to take that quality down. It's a big file. There we go, to a quality of 8. Save the JPEG. And now I'm going to close my TIFF. It's good. But now I need to go to my PSD file. Because I want to also save my creature with its overlay layer. So now in this PSD layer file, I'm going to turn off everything. Every layer. Don't worry, because I'm not going to save this. I'm only going to save it as a JPEG, just so I can see what alterations you made. Gosh, there's so many layers to this. Turn off everything except your creature and your overlay layers. So once you turn off everything, you'll only see your creature with that gray behind it. Even if it's set at overlay with nothing else behind it, this is all you see. Right? And then I have this top overlay layer too. So this is what's showing on my background. So I want to save this as a JPEG. And I'm going to call it my Assignment 3 Creaturescape Overlay. And that should be the right setting. Actually, JPEG compresses and saves space by pattern recognition. So because there's so much gray, even though it's the same resolution, I can make it a much higher quality and still be fewer than 5 megabytes. All right. This will be number 1, the next will be number 2. And this will show me and show everyone in the class like how cleanly cut out your character is. I do have that little warm breath coming through, but I can see how cleanly the character appears. So now, do I want to save my changes to Photoshop? In this case, no, because all I did was turn off layers. So don't save the changes to the Photoshop document. And now these are the assignments I'm going to upload. So I like to mark those orange. And we move them into PhotoBucket. I'm going to move them into this instructor demonstrations under assignment 3. And if you're having trouble uploading them, it's probably because they're more than 5 megabytes. That's as much as they need to be a good screen file. We need to keep that TIFF, though, safe at full resolution for when we want to print for our portfolios at the midterm. All right, so here I've got one of them. Don't see the other one, but it thinks it's there. So let's refresh. And then you click on them and title them. Your overlay layer will be your name and the number 1. I'm going to use a little code here. I do so many of these demos, I should start listing where they come from. So I thought I brought the other one in, but I don't see it. But we want it to be like this, where we see the creature, and then we see the creature in its environment. Let me try bringing it in on its own. And this is the last of our official compositing projects. The next assignment, we start kind of creating our own imagery. Trying to think why PhotoBucket is having trouble with this. It's not giving me any error. All looks good. Save it from preview as a JPEG. Everything about it's normal. If you're having struggles with PhotoBucket like this, let me know. Because they're always trying new things out. Okay, and then that's all there is to it. Once it's in the right place, then I can give you credit for it and score it and give you comments on how it can be improved. I'll make sure it gets in there eventually, but I'm going to label that one Carl 2 so they show up in order.